Good evening. Oh boy, chat. Don't. Ugh. Whatever is going on there. Ugh. Total double death. I could. I don't really care what's going on. Oh. I feel happier not being around all that. You guys talk amongst yourselves, though. I'm going to start this game. But hello, Tegon, Cell Chaos, Adeptus. I'll put in a little time, man. I'm gonna try to go to bed ASAP. Oh, guys. This is a this game. I mean this. Oh, this game. Oh, I'm getting up earlier more and more, so I need to get used to it. Oh, we got to fix the screen again. So we last left off on this game. We killed our partner when a guy was holding a knife to his throat, and well, he didn't make it because we missed him, and now somehow my partner's spirit is living in my head, and we hear his voice. He's constantly talking. He won't shut up. Yeah, I'm now getting up around 5. I miss getting up around 7. So we're still trying to figure out how do we free my partner's soul and get him out of my head. I mean, can we find out how this all happened? All right, yeah. So we had to figure out a piano clue, and that's right. I'm still tired for a piano clue. Yeah.
I don't know much about art, but I see Madame Dupre and I at least have similar tastes.
Wait, he likes photos, photos of paintings of naked dudes. Oh my gosh.
The science of pharmacology. Yeah, I'm sure it's riveting stuff.
So I gotta figure out my music knowledge. Here, I know it's not that long ago. Stalking, yeah, I can still read music. Yeah, I don't know how to play piano. Oh, it tells you the notes. So then what was my problem? Where was the music sheet at? Was it the next room? Excuse me. There it is. Here, take a picture. Or did I do that last time? Let me take a... No, I did not. Yeah, I'll take a picture. I don't have to memorize music anymore. All right. So, wait, do we just have to play the C scale? Alright, so... Alright, there's a low C. F. G. A. B. C. Maybe it's supposed to be something for later. I don't know. No. Harpsichord. Maybe I was thinking a little bit too much into it last time.
A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls.
So anyways, Chad, how was your guys' day?
I've never seen so many beauty products
Worked out
together
well.
in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though.
Locked.
The rain should be
I suppose
coming
I
in.
shouldn't be surprised.
There doesn't seem to be much else of interest among the papers. Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is. Well, someone's fancy. I never liked these types of beds much. They feel too claustrophobic.
I always thought they had a certain appeal myself.
Yes, you would think that about a bed that lets you shut out the rest of the world.
Yep. Talking to the voices in my head again.
Whoever lives in this room really likes plants and flowers, don't they?
Oh, jeez. Well, so what else do I need to do? Maybe we'll just go downstairs and see what happens.
Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Alright, something new here.
Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe. Certainly no shortage of bowls or food preparation items around here.
This servant over here.
It's times like these make me wish I could still eat. Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight.
Yeah, gumbo. Anything out of the ordinary before we do any talking. What are you talking about, Colt C? How you doing?
Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the... Looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges. Judging by the amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever.
Let's see, before we... Oh, no, 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 no. I forgot. You click on the map, it makes you leave. Son of a bitch. Where were we? I think... Oh, that wasn't it. Yeah, I was here. Hold on a second. Let's... Next step. Alright. He's just sitting there looking at the naked woman statue. Alright, let's see what we got here. Not sure how you doing. Oh. Well, I hope they're having fun. I have no idea what chat's talking. Well, I think I have an idea. I think I know
Pardon
what
me,
chat's
miss.
talking about, but I'm not following.
Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham. I'm investigating the attempted murder of Madame Dupre.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but I'm very busy. I can't help you.
You know anything about happening to Madame
Do you know
Dupre?
anything about what happened to Madame Dupre?
No, I don't. Please leave me to my work. I shouldn't be talking to you.
All right, I'm going.
That's it.
Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu. Some kind of water dispensing device, maybe? I was never very good at finding my way around the kitchen.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember what was the other thing we left off on. Thought there might be a clue with the piano, but I'm not seeing it now. Now that I'm more awake than the last time I was playing this. Self Chaos. This game came out a couple years
have some
ago, I
questions
think.
for you.
Oh, goody.
Here. Oh, this game came out in 2018. But yeah, people have been making retro style point and click adventures with modern sound and voices. They've been fun, and I've been eyeballing this one for a couple of years or even longer, and I finally got it. Yes, intentionally retro. All right. Bigger pills.
I found this bottle of pills upstairs. Are they yours?
Oh, I
Yes,
forgot about
I
that.
take those from time to time when I'm feeling tired.
You seem to be out.
Yes, that is a pity.
Where do you usually acquire them?
Oh, they're available by mail order only. I'll have to remember to request some later.
Miss
I found a
Montgomery.
letter upstairs addressed to a Miss Montgomery. Who is that?
You were snooping around up there? Naughty, naughty, Mr. Fordham.
It's part of my job. Now, are you going to tell me or not?
Nope. I don't think I will. You're the detective. I'll let you solve that mystery yourself.
I think this mystery could be best solved with a punch in the nose. God, I wish I still had fists.
Thanks for your
Gosh,
time.
I wish I didn't have
No,
a voice in my
Thank
head.
you for yours.
Maybe we'll move on. What was the other clue that pointed? We'll look at the map. All right, come on.
eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
This
fountain
quack.
probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. There's an angel on the fountain, but it doesn't look like it's weeping. This would probably be too risky a place to hide something anyway. This fountain probably looks... There's an angel. This would probably...
Alright. Anything else we could do here? Guess we'll leave. Cole CS, did you play LA Noir MKE? I played some of it. I still have it for the PlayStation 3. That's one thing. I really should need to go back and actually play that to completion. Like start all over and play it. Oh, should we go to the cemetery? But no, I thought the game was neat. I don't know why I've only made it so far into it. I don't remember. I'm trying to remember what was going on at the time. But yeah, one of these days I'll have to hook up the PlayStation 3 and stream it.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days.
Yeah, we're gonna go find my partner's gravestone, huh?
Looks like
What's
people have
this?
left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
Stealth Chaos is talking to Walker Wild's here? Where's Walker Wild? What did Walker Wild say? Oh. I see what Walker Wild said. How you doing, by the way? MKE, you tried the Jack Daniels single barrel proof rye yet? No, I have not. Maybe that could be something for this weekend, if I could find it.
I don't know him.
Police
Must be a
officer.
recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you. This just goes to show you can't take it with you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb.
Wonder when the rain is coming in. Oh no, I didn't want to leave the cemetery. I thought this is... So I come in this way, so I could exit on each side. Alright.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content. Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum. Looks like people have left. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. Nice view of the...
Okay, so apparently I can't do shit here yet. 76 Forest Lane. I want to say this is the flower shop where... Oh no, it's not.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Madame Dupre's daughter seems to have an interesting hobby. We really should see about tracking her down.
Oh, because she has something to do with it? Stealing the plants? Roscoe?
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
That's quite the book collection.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
Okay. Missing volumes of what?
Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose.
And for those of you not following along, the dialogue in the bottom is our dead partner who's dead, who's killed by me, And the text, whenever you see his head moving and the text above his head, that's him talking. Alright, Stealth, that is actually pretty funny.
This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass.
That was hilarious. See KB hold up the hat.
Etheric
God.
pressure. What a bunch of nonsense. They're just doing what flies do best. Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense.
Oh, geez. What button did I just push? Yeah, I'm pushing buttons and I don't even know
Well, now, this is interesting.
how. Oh, great. Alright. Yeah, sometimes these games just don't look good on my... the text in these games don't look good on my screen, so... Etheric effects, flora, large, more vibrant flowers. I'm just gonna try to read it all in my head. I don't want to sound dumb. I'm sure if I pull up stream on my phone, the text will look better there, readable, but and it does. It does. It only stays zoomed in for so long.
Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it.
Excuse me.
I'm guessing they're probably full of more scientific equipment or
Great.
plant-related stuff. I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working.
Wow, thank you for all the likes, chat.
They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads.
That makes two of us.
Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, what happened to the flies? I'm trying to understand.
Etheric.
Well, now, this is...
Alright. Brain is clearly affected. Inducing a trance-like state. Muscle control lost. Wings flap in predictable pattern. Okay. What if we do it again?
They're just doing what flies do best.
Now they're back to normal. Now the flies are back to normal. Yeah, if I think about it, I'll have to get that Jack Daniels rye if I could find it. Walking Wild could be a good treat for the weekend.
I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not much in the reading mood. Yeah, maybe Friday after work. Well, there's a Total Wine or Bevmo I could go to, and there's also another one not too far away from me. Keep looking to see if it started raining yet. Alright, there's the coffee house, cemetery. Which one do I want to go to first? Let's go to 451 Compton Street. Excuse me.
Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
$4.51. What did the one thing say again? Oh, that was for that. Okay, that's for the where we were just at, 76 Forest Lane. What's chat talking about?
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
No, I'm a private investigator.
Oh, I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
Sounded like she knew something, right?
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous injustice.
Not now, Bill. There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport.
Oh, that's right. The ghost in his head when he was alive used to draw mustaches on
Glad the
political.
Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs.
He used to draw mustaches on political posters.
I'm glad the Coulsons.
Butcher shop.
Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
Oh, jeez. What, I can't explore around here? Excuse me, chat.
Bonbon's restaurant. I never got a chance to go there, but I hear their deviled eggs are simply to die for. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic. I do know.
I guess there's really nothing else you could do here. Let's go check out the other location. She had motive in fly medicine. You're talking about that contraption on 76 Forest Lane. All right, what do we got here? Oh boy.
Fordham? Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you too.
Boy, who's that in the jail cell?
What brings you around the jail? I thought you quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already?
Oh boy.
But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
Oh boy, chat. Oh boy. Let's see. Go on. Where is it? There it is. Yep. Come on. All right.
He's watching you like a hawk. Looks liable to toss you in one of his cells if you try any funny business. I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention. Not much in the way of comfort. No bed or even a bucket. It's a good thing this place is meant for short stays. Either crime is low, or the police aren't doing their jobs very well.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
I'm looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Would you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
Oh boy.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
Dupree's death.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
What I meant was, how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet Montgomery.
Oh,
Dupre
jeez.
doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
All right. Ask about Juliet.
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse. We started talking, and she actually treated me like a person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say, had the same taste in books and art, didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the
Yeah,
greenhouse?
she's alive.
every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
Sounds like the voice in my head is agreeing with Chad. Juliet did it. Let's go find out. Let's ask about himself now.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
And
What does your
mother?
mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
There's the black
Not
magic.
quite. She's more like... how can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it
Voodoo.
does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
Oh boy. Voodoo.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
I
No,
am.
of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But
You
I
are.
can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Oh, wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? Would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
We were just there.
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
Okay, now we have a reason to go to that house that we were just at. Let's go. Let's go do that. There's university, but first, let's go to 451 Compton.
You again. I told you I have no time for visitors.
Albert.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Now you have time.
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. The Virgin Mary. I must admit she was the last person I was expecting to see in here. That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Of course. My apologies. I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Let's talk about Albert. Oh, I can't ask for tea.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. Just go down the list. I think the one thing I'm not going to do is ask for tea.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Yes, I want to know about the message.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
Oh, now all that's left to do is ask for tea.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
And I said I wanted to avoid asking for tea because, I don't know. We still don't have a list of suspects? Well...
There's no way you'll be able to look behind that curtain while Mrs. Martin is in the room. You'll need to get her out somehow.
Okay, now we have to ask for tea. It's unavoidable.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
All right, let's betray her trust.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Can I just leave?
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Back room.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
Drop
Actually,
the
never
subject.
mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
Interesting. Those
I don't
pots
know.
look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
I don't know what else to do right now. But going to the university is
Oh,
a...
no, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Okay, that was a statue. I didn't realize that up there. What's going on with chat? I guess I'll leave and go to the
Aren't you
university
going
and
to
see.
have your tea, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I just remembered something important I need to look into. Perhaps later.
Suit yourself.
So we just wait for the tea. I wonder if it was a mistake by leaving. Alright, here we are at the university. More plants.
Huh. It's as though we've journeyed to the tropics. I don't know how you can stand to keep that coat on in here. Those flowers are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes, though. Those flowers... Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. It looks like a giant earwax remover to me. I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them? One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
Pardon the disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
There she
Miles
is.
Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes, that shouldn't be a problem.
Madame Dupre.
Do you know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature internment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was. What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you
Oh,
don't
boy.
have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible about it. You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
All right. Tell us about the relationship. Cold C saying she's guilty. Oh.
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties.
Oh
Then when I
boy.
declared my intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally, I've always found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken. I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Mistreat? No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though, and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid.
Punishing
Mother
the
wasn't
servants.
too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
That's that woman who wouldn't talk to us. I wonder if we go back and we could get her to talk. The woman in the kitchen. Oh. I'm slouching. I want to put on my back brace. It always helps with the slouching.
What can you tell me about Albert Martin?
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before I had him bringing me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she found out.
Do you believe Mr. Martin did what he stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite passionate. If the police believe he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things, just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies. Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver,
She's lying.
dissembler,
Liar.
My trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
We already found her experiment.
Miss Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
Uh, should I rat on her brother? I found a spare key in your room, or say your brother told me about the experiments, or I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find these things out. Wonder if I should be vague. Or pin it on her brother. Not really sure. I have a coin. I'll pick between the second option and the third. Seems like there's always a coin laying on my desk, but not when I need it. Fuck it, I'll go vague. I'll be vague on this one.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Fine. I've been researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies. Those experiments were mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
Andrew, let's bring that
What
up.
can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Dr. Funkin, how you doing? Find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. No, Dr. Funkin, be safe traveling. Don't want to distract you while you do anything important, but lurks are appreciated. You gotta bring him out of his stupor, but how? Oh, we can't go back to that Forest Lane place. I guess that means we did everything we need to over there. But where should we go?
Looks like people have... You may think it... This just goes to show you can't take it with... This just goes to...
This book. Get there. Oh well. Let's talk to this guy again.
Could I ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Don't be such a smartass. Hatred of Dupree.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter. So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her, but even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Intriguing.
That's all for now.
Well, we tried discovering the source of the rift. Now we got to go back over to the university and press her for more questions. All this back and forth and...
She's busy. That's not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
All right, we'll ask our brother. We got to get him out of a... what you would call it?
This quack hasn't gotten anything more for us to learn right now. Her eyes are glazed over. If we didn't...
All right. In we go. Oh, we still have that one woman to talk to. Let's skip him and go to the servant that's been here for a very, 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 very long time.
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Please, I need to know what you know about Madame Dupree.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know about Madame Dupre.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet?
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Yes, that's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
Yes, drive safe, Dr. Funkin.
Tell me about Madame Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens.
Oh boy.
Lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam, it can be difficult sometimes.
Difficult? What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
Said enough. Yeah, Dr. Funkin, you'll have to tell us about your travels when you get a chance. Obviously not now while you're driving. Wow, thank you for all the likes, chat. Alright, let's ask about Dupree's quote-unquote death.
What do you know about Madame Dupre's supposed death?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about Andrew.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
Yeah, Juliet.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
And now, about you.
Are you the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one, Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madam's incident.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now, please, let me get back to work.
Now, Marcel hasn't been around since the incident. Try to remember that. Now let's go bother Andrew.
I have some questions for you. Oh, goody.
Juliet.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
I'm reminded of a famous quote, Mr. Fordham. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Let us part on good terms and avoid the subject altogether, please.
Thanks for your time.
No, thank you for yours.
Pieces of 8?
Hi, matey.
He's a pretty
Who's
bird.
a pretty bird?
Ray's a pretty bird.
This is all stuff from.
Polly want a cracker?
No, thank you.
This is callbacks from. This callback from Monkey Island.
So long, birdie.
Bye bye.
Now, where do we want to go? Check her room again.
The science of pharmacology. I'm sure it's riveting stuff. I can only wonder what sort of potions Andrew concocts in this thing. Is this really the best that medical science has to offer? What in the ether is that thing supposed to be? Actually, I'd rather not know. Why would anyone need so many flowers in one room?
Perhaps it's to mask the odors of those chemicals on the workstation.
Could be.
Locked. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. They're all empty. How unusual.
Not to mention disappointing.
Papers.
There doesn't seem to be much else of interest among the papers. I've never seen so many beauty products together in one place. Doesn't look like they get used much, though. Juliet really likes plants and flowers, doesn't she? Nice little cottage. Looks like it would make a nice cozy spot to retire. If I hadn't already retired from life, that is. I've never seen... Nice bouquet of roses. Although it would make things much easier if they were Easter lilies.
If only.
Ah, the Gascon docks. The artist definitely took some liberties. You can't see a single person getting stabbed. A horrible little porcelain figurine. Madame Dupre didn't strike me as the type to play with dolls. A much younger Madame Dupre. I suppose that's a nice alternative to a mirror. Ooh, a fainting couch. You know, I always wanted one of these, but I never fainted enough to justify buying one. One of those melodramatic romances. I read it a while back, and I couldn't tell you a thing about it.
Damn it, other
That
short
one sounds
stories.
interesting. I was always a fan of Bedletter's short stories. Doesn't appear to be
Chesterton's.
very brief if there's 2 volumes of it. I wonder if anyone outside the family would find this even remotely interesting. Doesn't appear to...
Choice and Consequences.
Choice and Consequence. Who in their right mind would write a book about that? I don't want to know what that one's about.
Buffalo Skinner, a wild
I read
man's
that one
tale.
last year. If you ever wanted to know the intimate details of a buffalo's anatomy, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
That's an old uniform, from the turn of the century by the look of it. This must be Madame Dupre's first husband. Kinda strange that she'd still keep his portrait in the bedroom.
In the mirror.
You've got some huge bags under your eyes, Miles. Reminds me of the case we had on that strange train.
Don't remind me.
Yeah, the strange train that... Wait, never mind.
Oh, dear God, no, please, let's not expose ourselves to that drivel again. Nothing else of interest in there.
Okay, not really sure what else to do here, so just wanted to double check on some things and make sure we're not missing anything. Oh.
This quack hasn't gotten anything more. Her eyes are. If we didn't know.
Oh boy.
With her vast sums of wealth, Madame Dupre could probably feed a starving family for the next 30 years. Instead, she uses the money to keep her hedges trimmed.
Now what? We haven't been here in a while. Let's check out the coffee house. Oh boy.
Best avoid that one. He looks like he might tip over at any moment. Reminds me of when I was alive. Ah, good times. He and his friend are having quite the conversation. I bet it's really boring.
Ugh.
Judging by the sooty apron, this man is either a metal worker, a chimney sweep, or just really lazy when it comes to washing. She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Alright, so review the case.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Andrew.
Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling
I don't know.
something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Okay, so no coffee.
All that metal and tubing just to serve a hot cup of coffee?
Oh.
Not much of a hurry to clean up in here, are they? Asleep at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies. A young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add. Self-Portrait as a Desperate Man by B. Calvert.
Oh
Bit like
shit,
looking in the
excuse
mirror,
me.
Isn't it, Miles?
Let's go back to my place.
I've managed to survive the wild streets of New Britannia.
Hello, Miles. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only. A Gascon Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
The very same.
Goodness. That does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Oh, let's see. Oopsie. You know what? I think there's one thing I forgot to do. All right. I might as well relay the message. Walking Wild in chat says, safe travels, Dr. Funkin.
It's been so long since you used that desk. Did you even notice when Adelaide got rid of the chair?
So we're able to confirm that both victims been male and died from gunshot wounds. Police declined to reveal any further details and denied rumors that the murders are being committed by a serial killer. We have no reason to believe that these murders are related, said Chief of Police Reginald Snelling. We have our finest detectives on the case, and we hope to find whoever perpetrated these awful crimes very soon. In the meantime, we ask the citizens of New Britain, especially those that vigilantly report any and all suspicious activity to a police officer. Okay. Walker Wild says Colt said it first. Oh, didn't know. Yeah, Dr. Fucker responded to that. Let's see. What's coming? Both interject and restore properties first put forward 2 years ago by Dr. Ben. Dr. Clark claims that small amounts on Earth, but mainly located in the celestial region, commonly referred to as more powerful in addition to powering lights, machines, See, there's an article about Madame Dupree. I'm kind of going in reverse on order. Dupree, age 44, died on Saturday. Apparent natural causes. Oh yeah, Walking Wild. Where'd you say you were going? To go catch trout? Was it Sedona or was it somewhere in the White Mountains? I want to say it was Sedona because I was talking about the highways around there.
Building those model ships was a good way to pass the time. Hopefully it'll be a...
Alright, let's talk to her.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Do you know anything about Madame Dupree?
I've read that the Dupreys are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Real people.
Yes. It makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Nothing. She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
I'll let you get back to your book.
Yeah, Sedona, okay.
Ha, that
there
poster
any-
brings back some memories. That's from around the time you two met, isn't it?
Yes, back when Addie was singing at the Angel.
Yes, your soporific is still in there. Stop being so paranoid.
I don't know what to
It's a
do. I'm
fun
looking
little
around.
apparatus Adelaide got you. Very soothing.
Watching it spin long enough puts me right to sleep.
I'd say that's really more the soporific's doing. Wouldn't you say it's time for a change of clothes, Miles? You've been wearing that coat for who knows how long.
So? Addie gave it to me. Besides, it gives me character.
Right. Brooding detective in a long black coat. That's never been seen before.
What are you talking about, Bill?
Never mind. Pretty, but I'm glad I don't have a sense of smell anymore. I'm certain a permanent indentation in the shape of your rear is starting to form on that thing. Don't
Well-
worry, Miles. I don't watch when you and Adelaide are having your private time.
It would be nice if you didn't spend the whole time humming.
I thought you appreciated some romantic music.
Oh, jeez. All right, let's get out of here. I don't think there's anything else. I'm kind of stuck where I did as I need to go next. I think.
I'll see you later, Addie.
Goodbye, dear. Love you.
Love you too.
Go play the piano. I already played the scale. I don't know what else to do. Kind of
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not going to be much help right now. Best not to bother her.
all right. Bye bye. But that hasn't gone away, so it means we're definitely coming back here. But this is the
Nothing else, Dad?
yeah. This is the really the latest information thing that push us forward. So we got. And we probably can't press her any further.
She's busy.
And we're being left with not a whole lot of options here. Can't do anything there, so it's got it back to the Dupree Manor. It has to be.
As amusing as it is to chat with it.
Fuck. Double check her one more time.
Stick around. I may have more questions for you later.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
I haven't found any other clues for the piano. We just found a scale on the wall. I've already played the scale. Where's my picture that I took? Because I'm not walking over there. other things we could play? Let's go back in here. But we gotta get this. I totally think I'm on the wrong track right now. No, that idea would not work.
Nothing else of interest.
Um. Is there some musical hint I'm not picking up on? But when you look at her casebook, we still don't have a list of suspects, which is amazing to me. Discover the source of Julia and her mother's rift. That's one thing about these kind of games. It can be challenging. You gotta really think. Let's scale a different way. I don't know. You know the riff? Well, yeah, we do, but something's not making sense here.
As amusing as it.
So long, Bert.
This quack hasn't. Dupre looks like she's holding on to that poor bastard for dear life.
Go back to the voodoo woman, but when I was just there, Wait a second. There's nothing no more I could talk to her about. But yeah, I can still go back there. I just don't know what else to do there.
Do you suppose that's for the bird? Or perhaps so the Dupre family members can get a good look at themselves on the way out of the house?
Okay, I was just curious if there's anything particular about that mirror. But since I'm brainstorming, I'll go back to Voodoo House.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not gonna be much help right now. Best not to bother her. There's no way you'll be able to look behind that curtain, woman. She's not gonna be...
Alright, so we can't ask her for more tea. Don't know what else to do in here.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies. A rather unremarkable... The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
I'm not sure what else to do. Yeah, everyone's a suspect. How come everybody's not written down to my suspect list? And I'm running out of ideas. Oh, can we talk to him now? We weren't able to talk to him before.
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
I need to get into that tomb.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
What excuse don't I? It's my dear departed Aunt Esther's birthday. Or I think I saw someone being mugged at the front entrance. You think someone's getting mugged? I don't know. What's a fun thing to say? Or else I'll just keep moving along. Be a smart ass, so that might be more fun. Alright, I'll just go with the first one.
But it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've got my orders. Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
If only that police officer wasn't guarding the tomb, you could go in there and raid it to your heart's content.
Yeah, so how do we distract them?
Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then.
What time is it? That's right, I gotta remember to start going to bed a little earlier.
This just goes to show you can't take...
Yeah, I know. I don't know how I'd send the cop away. I'm trying to think of how we could distract him. Oops, go back. Well, wait, I meant to leave and come back, see if we can start a new conversation.
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time. Please.
Fucking shit.
Nice view of the river from up here. You can hardly even see the cloud of smog over the chum.
Anything we can interact with.
The plaque says Harrison. Doesn't look very opulent, so I guess it doesn't belong to anyone important.
Yeah, I don't. I'm running out of ideas. We're gonna just keep, well, nature of the game. Keep doing what you're doing. Maybe go back to some of these places and look for something you might have missed.
Those flowers are definitely quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them? She's busy. Best not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
So we can't get the guy coffee because this bitch said something stronger. It's like, what? Well, what's? It's like, can we try coffee anyways? I'm running out of options here.
Simon Banks, professional chimney sweep. Services start at 2 coppers per hour. Inquire at 305 Merrick Lane. I'm sure he's a lovable urchin, but thankfully, your chimney is clean. Professor Xander Colt Tit III's emulsified soporific, available at all discerning pharmacies. I really don't know why you think taking that rat piss every night is a good idea, Fordham. P.D. Preston's patented papier-mâché perambucat. Handsomely upholstered in silk, satin, or velvet, and hand-painted in the most artistic manner, as shown in engraving. I suppose if you and Adelaide ever finally decide to have children, something like this will come in handy. Dr. W.S. Sales Wonder Tonic, the best and safest medicine for both gentlemen and ladies. Prevents consumption, general weakness, feverishness, indigestion, constipation, diarrhea, loss of appetite, flatulence, and head pain. They should also mention that it prevents breathing, heartbeats, and being alive. Dr. Tennyson's Vigor Pills. Absolutely guaranteed to restore vitality, youth, and vigor, or your money back. For use by men only. These things seem to have had a spike in popularity recently.
Is it going to tell me where I could get some of this stuff? Because it seems like...
Beautifies the complexion, leaves you smelling fresh as a daisy. Talk about false advertising. I couldn't get a date for a week after using that stuff.
How you doing, Big W? How was your day?
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Review
I wanted to go over
case.
the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Cemetery officer.
I
Oh.
seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, Has a small scar over his left eye and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah, yes, that would be Officer
Dixie
Grant.
accent.
He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Yeah, exactly. Can you do it?
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Okay, Oh. Now I need to find a woman to distract a cop, and I can't
You
have...
having anything to discuss
well,
right now?
the cop, sure doesn't want to be distracted by her, so...
Good day to you, officer.
Afraid I ain't got time for idle chat, sir. Please, move along.
Okay, how are we gonna do this? Fuck. Can you help me distract an officer? Bitch. Ugh.
Nothing else to add? Not much of a view. But then it's not as though people in here are meant to have many luxuries.
Alright, how are we gonna use... well... can you distract a police officer for me?
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not gonna be much help.
Snuck. Or maybe I should tell my wife to do it. Let's go back home.
Hey, Addie. Here I am.
Seeing you come home always puts a smile on my face.
You remember how much time Adelaide had to spend convincing you to sit for this? At least these days, with ferrotype tech advancing the way it is, these portraits can be done in just a matter of minutes.
Addie?
Yes, dear?
Yes! Oh gosh, I'm gonna use my wife to distract the officer. Oh boy. Honey, I need you to act like a slut in front of this officer for me so I could do my job.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
What is it?
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Did you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
Yeah, this game's called Lamplight
Excuse me,
City.
officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
I seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
Yes, I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind.
Oh.
Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one. And he doesn't appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work.
Oh my god.
I have to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Well, it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
I wasn't expecting it to go that way.
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem. What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is... Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems
boy.
Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
We got pills inside. The year is 1844, Stealth Chaos.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man. William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837. Gone but never forgotten. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840. Good riddance.
These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another. This must be what was going to be Madame Dupre's final resting place.
I don't see anything inside.
What, were you expecting a note from her attacker?
No, but I was hoping for some kind of clue at the very least. Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810. Strong in life, stronger in death. Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
Oh shit, I'm out of water. Oh, well, at least I got this.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815, ab aeterno. Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812, I told you I was sick. Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843, a good man. Rest in peace.
I have to admit, it's a fairly ingenious hiding spot.
Well, maybe we could go back over
A
to.
nest.
Perhaps she abandoned.
Always assume.
All right, let's go. Maybe we could go back up to the debris now. All right, let's see if we could give.
This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
Let's see if that's what we need for what's his name, Andrew. Oh, did we do it?
I have some questions for you.
Oh, goody.
Vigor pills.
You'll never believe what I found in your family's tomb.
Oh? Was it a ghost?
No, it was these vigor pills. You wouldn't happen to know how they got there, would you?
I see you really are good at your job, aren't you, Mr. Fordham?
Look, Andrew, I'm in no mood for games.
These options. What you're doing is highly illegal. I have no choice but to report you to the police. The second option is I'm willing to overlook your unlawful activities in exchange for your cooperation. Or 3, just be quiet and take one of these pills. I kind of want to tell him to take one of these pills. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what choice I want to make. The pills one sounds like fun.
Just be quiet and take one of these pills.
I suppose one would help. Thank you. My goodness, I always forget how fast those pills work. My heart is racing. You said you had questions, didn't you? Well, go on, ask them already. You mustn't waste any more time.
That seems to have done the trick. I just hope we haven't doomed him to a heart attack.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
I can't believe anyone would be so cruel as to do what that wretched bastard Martin did to her. Mother is kind and generous, and everyone loves her. She's even good enough to hire actual people to do the housework. Not many wealthy families do that, you know. They just use automated machines or hire servants to operate the manual ones.
How do you typically spend your days, Mr. Montgomery? What are your interests?
I study pharmacology at the university. I'll be graduating next year if all goes well. I just hope Mother has recovered enough by then to understand what's going on. She and Jean were so proud of me when I started university. I'd be so disappointed if she couldn't see me finish.
John.
I take it Jean is your stepfather.
He is. Mother married him 5 years after my father died of consumption.
My condolences. Do you have a good relationship with him?
Not terribly. Truth is, I hardly ever see him. In fact, before the funeral, I hadn't seen him at all this month.
Where is he now?
I don't know for certain, but it seems likely he's at his hunting cabin.
His hunting cabin?
Yes, he often goes there. It's his way of leaving polite society behind and spending time with his thoughts. Considering what Mother just went through, well, I would guess that's where he's gone. Although, to be honest, I don't know why he's not here with Mother in her time of need.
Why do people run away from their problems instead of facing them? Why, Miles?
Do you know where this cabin is?
Afraid not. I don't share his passions, so I never cared much to accompany him on his outings.
Okay, let's ask about Juliet now.
What can you tell me about your sister, Juliet?
Juliet, smart as a whip and just as forgiving. She's a fighter, that one. Despite being the only woman in her class, she's managed to rank at the top.
Impressive.
I only wish Mother was more accepting of Juliet going to university. But you don't want to hear about boring family matters, I'm sure.
Oh, but family matters are my favorite. It's always so reassuring to know how much worse off everyone else is.
Dupree's quote-unquote death.
Exactly were the circumstances leading up to your mother's supposed death?
A few days ago, I arrived home from school and found her collapsed on the floor. She wasn't breathing, so I immediately contacted Dr. Fellows. He examined her and pronounced her dead. We were all completely shocked. I was devastated. She'd been in fine health. In fact, she'd just been out riding that morning. You can imagine our surprise at the funeral when she sprang back to life.
Servants.
What's your relationship with the servants like?
Relationship? I don't have one with them. They're servants. Mother always made it clear that they weren't part of the family, just help. We've only got 2 on staff right now, though, the kitchen girl and the gardener.
Albert.
How is it you know Albert Martin?
He works at the greenhouse where my sister Juliet does her research. The 2 of them were involved romantically, and Mother didn't like that at all. I heard their fights. They were ghastly.
What exactly made you suspect he was the one responsible for what happened to your mother?
Well, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? His mother's a notorious voodoo witch. Those people do all sorts of awful things to our kind. It's all out of spite, you know. He knew Mother disapproved of his relationship with Juliet, so he plotted to get rid of her.
So
Pill
you're
business.
running some kind of pill business on the side.
I'm providing a service, Mr. Fordham. Not everyone in this life is as lucky as I am. People pay top crown for luxuries like airship tickets and social club memberships. Medicine should be affordable to all. Dr. Tennyson has a patent on the energy pill formula and thus a monopoly on the market. That means he can charge whatever he wants. Students use these kinds of pills all the time, you know. Academic rigors can be overwhelming, and concentrating can be difficult without help sometimes. I've got the skills and the equipment. If I can replicate the formula, help my fellow students, and sell them at a much more reasonable price, why shouldn't I?
There's the fact that what you're doing is illegal.
Oh, you're starting to sound just like Mother. And just because it's illegal doesn't mean it's immoral. I can think of plenty of examples where the opposite is true.
You're probably the most altruistic person I've met all month.
The sad part is it's true.
Ooh, let's ask about the parrot.
That's a rather exotic bird you've got.
Yes, Ray is nice when he's quiet. But get him started and it's tough to shut him up.
Who trained him?
I think he already knew some phrases when Mother bought him. She's managed to teach him a few new ones, though.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Okay. Okay, a hunting cabinet. A hunting cabinet. Ugh, I know I'm getting tired. I'm saying the wrong words.
Amelie?
Yes? What is it? We mustn't be seen talking.
Do you know where this cabin is at?
Anything you can tell me about John?
I hardly ever see him. Only at dinner. He's scared of Madam, and so he finds any reason to get out of the house and stay away as long as he can.
Go
Scared of
on.
Oh, it's true. You should see him when they're in private, like a shamed puppy that dirtied the carpet.
Interesting.
Fear
Do you
Dupree.
have any idea why Jean is so afraid of Madame Dupre?
If he's seen the same things we have, then yes.
What kind of things?
No, I spoke out of turn. Forget I said anything.
No, don't shut
Amelie, listen
fucking
to me.
woman.
A potentially innocent man's life is on the line. If I don't find out who attacked Madame Dupre, he's as good as dead. So if there are any facts or details you know that I don't, you need to tell me.
I can't.
You can. I'm not with the police. If Madame Dupre did something wrong, I'm not going to look the other way. Trust me, I'm on your side.
Madam beats the servants. I think she even does it for fun.
Oh,
I hear her scream sometimes.
See, we
I don't
heard
know
something
how
about
anyone else in
punishment.
the family doesn't. Maybe they do and just ignore it. I don't know. But if Mr. Dupre knows what she do, it explains why he's so scared of her.
Wow. So, what was her name? We already been told about punishing the servants.
Did Madame Dupre ever abuse you?
No, I was lucky, but some of the others weren't.
Like who? I need details, Amelie.
The old gardener, Guy Dumas, and one of the maids, Celine. I saw Madame going after them the most. Don't know what they did to
Heard
deserve
about
it,
Celine.
but I would see her walk by in a rage, whip in one hand and a book in the other.
A book? What book?
Oh, I don't know. I can't read, so I don't know what it said on the cover. But it's the same color as the stew spice I always use. Don't know what she used it for, but she always had it with her, just before a beating.
Maybe she'd recite them some of her terrible poetry. I'm sure that was torture enough.
Oh boy. Now we're getting a motive. Guy and
Tell me more
Celine.
about Guy and Celine.
They were deeply in love with each other. I used to hear them talk about how they wanted to run away together.
What happened to them?
I don't know. One day they were here, and then one day they weren't.
Do you think Madame Dupre may have done something to them?
I couldn't say for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she had. Please, let's not talk about this anymore.
Thank you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
Oh boy.
I have some questions for you.
All right.
All right.
Did you know Guy Dumas?
The old gardener? Sure, I knew him. We didn't talk very much. He was just a servant after all, but he seemed like a nice man. He stopped coming around about 2 months ago. Too bad, really. He did a good job of keeping the gardens looking nice. The new one is all right, but he just doesn't have that special touch Guy did.
And Celine.
Were you familiar with a servant named Celine?
Yes, I believe she was one of the maids. I didn't talk to her very much. Oh, she quit not so long ago. At least I assume she did. I haven't seen her in about 3 months.
Thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Should probably save.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me what you know about Jean Dupre.
I'd rather not speak of him. Madame Dupre does not need to be agitated any further.
I take it you don't look very favorably upon him, then.
I'll just say this. If my wife had been attacked and left for dead, you can be sure I wouldn't leave her side.
What a gentleman. He doesn't even leave women who aren't his wife.
I see what you mean. Do you know where I might find him?
I only wish I did.
Those are all the questions I've got for now.
I hope
Well-
I answered them adequately.
Well, well, well. We're gonna find out where his cabin is at. We gotta find out more about Guy and Celine. Big W says, is this like a choose your own adventure book? I believe there is multiple endings to this game. I believe there are. I could be wrong. So, kinda. I guess I could verify that question right now. Excuse me. Hmm. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm not finding the answer, but I believe there is multiple endings to this game. It just kind of depends on the choices. I believe that is the truth. Oh well. Yeah, start winding down. Get up early. Yeah, I don't see where I. Whatever. Oh well. A little bit longer. Let's go talk to her now.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Is there
Yeah.
anything you can tell me about your stepfather, Jean?
He's a kind man. I don't really see him too often. He seemed rather upset at Mother's funeral, but I can't help but wonder if he feels the same way as I do about her death.
What do you mean?
Just that I get the distinct impression that he and Mother's marriage isn't as perfect as they'd like it to appear.
I'm starting to sense a trend here.
Your brother told me that Jean enjoys hunting. Do you know where his cabin is?
Yes, it's in Fenton Swamp. I went out there with him a few times, but I didn't really enjoy it. Frankly, the place is rather grotesque. All those stuffed trophies staring at you with their cold, dead eyes. Plants are much nicer to have around. Anyway, if you take the main road through the swamp about 1.5 miles, you'll come upon a small dirt path that goes northeast. Take that until you see a small cabin on the left. That's it.
Thank you for the information, Miss Montgomery.
Alright, that was going to be longer till we got that information. But let's get more information on Dean. Let's get some more information on this.
You know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week. He came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then. Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere. I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Excuse me. Alright. Madame Dupree would beat her servants at times, seemingly for fun. She used a whip, but also carried a book, which is the same color as... Oh, I forgot to look at the... We gotta go back and take a look at the color of the spice. How you doing, ACDC? How's your evening? How's it going? So there's a hunting cabin. We're not going there tonight. We're going to start wrapping this up. Because I don't want to be... I'm going to have an easier time waking up. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll go for a little longer. I think I should probably tire myself out just a little bit more. Spice
Looks like the type of
jars.
spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
Okay.
Certainly no shortage of Certainly no shortage of... Yeah, it looks like gumbo's on the menu tonight. I wonder how it compares with Upton's special recipe. It's times like these make me wish I could still eat.
So,
Looks like
okay.
the type of spices you'd use in a...
Red and oranges. Okay. I guess that's our answer there.
The amount of food this family probably eats, washing the dishes must take forever.
Yeah, thank you, ACDC. Hope you've been well. Alright, let's go check out the cabin. Fuck it. Oh, we just go inside.
Hello? Is anyone here?
Strange of Dupre to leave the door unlocked. Maybe it means he'll be returning soon. One of the guns is missing. Jean must be out using it currently. I had a nasty run-in with an alligator when I was a child. One less in the world doesn't really bother me, to be honest. An absolute bore. Are these even native to New Britannia? Not a very dignified end for our friend Mr. Bear. Some high society type in the middle of a hunt. I don't understand why anyone would get a thrill out of murdering innocent creatures. It seems Mr. Dupre is a Bollingworth man. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Bollingworth man.
Satchels, boxes, and other assorted boring things for hunting. Not a very dignified end.
Let's see if Jean has anything interesting in here.
Not very much, except a letter.
A letter? Dear Jean, thank you so much for your help. To think that Mother would try and have me withdraw from my studies is just unbelievable. Don't worry, I won't tell her you made the university change their minds. One attempt to ruin a life is quite enough. Juliet. Alright, so I think Juliet is still lying to us. Because I'm getting the impression, well...
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Fordham, private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite. It seems Mr. Dupre is...
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
All right, let's go through the usual
What can you
questions.
tell me about Madame Dupre?
Oh, my dear wife. The past few days have been just awful for all of us.
Yes, I can imagine. How long have you been married?
for 7 wonderful years.
Oh, I thought it was
You and I
5
are
years.
Just as much in love now as we were on the day we married.
Lord, does he actually expect anyone to believe that nonsense?
You'll pardon me for being so frank, Mr. Dupre, but why are you out hunting and not at your wife's side?
Excuse me? Who are you to lecture me on my marriage?
A fellow married man, that's who. Your wife has just suffered a very traumatic ordeal. Shouldn't you be at home caring for her?
But with all the confusion at the house, with the police investigating and her being attended to by her doctor, I just needed to get away for a bit. Surely you can understand, Mr. Fordham.
There's something off about this guy, Miles. He's definitely hiding something. And for once, I don't think it's from his wife.
I think both Jean and his stepdaughter Juliet are both hiding something. Oh my gosh, chat. Could Juliet and her stepfather both be hiding something? Because after reading that letter, I think Juliet's still lying to us about stuff.
Do you know anything about the circumstances surrounding Madame Dupre's death?
Horrible. Simply horrible.
Do you have any idea why Mr. Martin might have attempted to kill her?
Mr. Martin? You mean the boys they arrested? Andrew said it's because Martin and his mother are witches who prey on the well-to-do.
Oh, they're
you only
witches.
need to take one look at him to see his trouble. It's a shame they put him away so quickly. I'd have liked to teach him a lesson or two, believe you me.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to cower in the corner, most likely.
Oh, Dr. Funka made it safely to the airport. That's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I was getting ready to call it, but then part of me said, just play for a little bit longer. Just play for a little bit longer. And tire myself out a little bit more. But not too much like I did last night or the night before. Alright, let's ask him about himself.
I suppose it goes without saying that you enjoy hunting, Mr. Dupre?
Yes, I do. I consider myself something of an outdoorsman, you see. It's nice to be able to go out and get some fresh air after being sat at the bank all day.
What about your home life?
Truth be told, I'm not at home as often as I'd like to be. I've been trying to make more time, but something usually comes up. Business is business, after all.
Yeah, but what business are we talking about here exactly?
Yes, we want to ask about the stepchildren. I got questions about you and Juliet. Oh, thank you, Big Dubs. I made a few of these, so I'll probably switch them around from time to time, but I kind of like this one the most so far, I think. But I gotta try on the others. Oh.
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a bright future ahead for both of them.
What's your relationship with them like?
It's fine. Why do you ask?
I got the distinct impression from both of them that they hardly ever see you.
Well, yes, I suppose that is true. We don't spend much time together. But they're both so busy with school, I don't want to get in their way. Not to mention my job keeps me away from home for considerable periods of time.
Excuses, excuses. I get the feeling Mr. Dupre avoids his family on purpose. But why?
Well, we already got the clue that Mrs. Dupree scares the shit out of him. And she goes on those beating sprees, beating the servants. So, fear of Dupree.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupre?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupre?
Why in the ether would you think that?
You're clearly afraid of your own shadow. Or should I throw Emily under the bus and say, yeah, she told me.
Your kitchen maid
Thrown
Anna
under the
told me
bus.
you were.
And you believed her? Really, Mr. Fordham, servants are good for one thing only, and that's their jobs. Providing information does not fall under that umbrella.
Alright, ask more about Fear Dupree.
Mr. Dupre, be honest with me. Are you afraid of your wife?
Here you go again with that ridiculous question. Why would you think I fear my wife?
You're clearly afraid of your own
Come
shadow.
on, Mr. Dupre, you're clearly afraid of your own shadow.
What?
Don't deny it, Sean. You're as yellow as a chum harlot's teeth.
Oh
Mr.
boy.
Fordham, I agree to answer your questions, not to be insulted. I think it's best if you leave.
So
Oh.
much for this line of inquiry.
Mr. Dupre,
Out, Mr. Fordham.
Mr. Dupre.
Out, Mr. Fordham.
Ah. I don't think I'm gonna save the game like this. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make a new save. I think I'm going to pick up on the save I just did before I leave. Oh, we can't even go back there. Yeah, fuck this. I wanted to ask those other questions. We're loading.
As amusing.
Alright, we'll just blast through the dialogue.
Doctor, may I ask you a few questions?
Please be my guest.
Tell me what
I'd say I'll just.
What a gentleman.
I see what you
I only.
Those are all.
I hope.
This quack has.
Alright, let's go back over here.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Is there anything you can tell?
He's
What?
just that
Your bro.
yeah, and take that.
Thank you
Click,
for the.
click.
Do you know Guy?
Yeah,
When?
just
Do you know where?
not
Please. Were you friends with
yes. What's your
No, I was. No more.
then if you don't
Okay, now let's try this again.
Hello?
Go through the
Strange.
clues.
One of the guns is missing. You really have to wonder about someone who chooses to surround them. Satchels, and a nasty, an absolute. Are these even native? Some high society. Not a very dick. Seems Mr. Du.
Alright, I think we clicked on
Let's see if
everything.
Jean.
Not very much.
Alright.
Who the hell are you? What are you doing in my cabin?
Jean Dupre, I presume?
Yes, that's right. Who are you?
Miles Ford.
Who are you?
Private investigator. I'm looking into the attempted murder of your wife.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Forgive my rudeness, but you startled me.
Perfectly understandable, Mr. Dupre.
This is a man whose bark is most definitely worse than his bite.
Can we talk, Mr. Dupre?
I suppose.
What can you tell me about
Alright,
Madame
let's
Dupre?
catch up to where we were.
Yes. How long?
Lord, does he?
You'll
Excuse me? Who are you?
a fellow married. Your wife is just.
But with all the confusion, I just needed to.
There's something off about.
Ask about himself. Or, oh, do all the stuff until we get to Fear Dupree.
Do you know?
Horrible. Andrew said it's because you.
Yeah, right. A lesson on how to.
I
So,
suppose it goes.
Yes,
What about your?
trust me. I've been trying.
Yeah, but
What can you tell me about your stepchildren?
Andrew and Juliet? I see a...
I got the distinct impression.
Well, yes, but they're both so busy with school, not to mention...
All right, we'll skip that. Let's ask about Guy and Celine.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
They were former servants of yours. Do you not remember them?
Oh, I remember them. I just have nothing to say about them.
I've met some bad liars in my day, but this guy really takes the cake. We'll get him, somehow.
Ugh. Juliet's letter.
Do you know anything about Madame Dupre trying to get Juliet taken out of her classes at the university?
Ah, yes. Laura didn't approve of her daughter's desire to further her education. So, she sent a letter to the university requesting Juliet's withdrawal. I didn't approve of her trying to meddle in Juliet's affairs. If she wants to study, she should be free to do so. I wrote them a letter myself, without Laura's knowledge, telling them to disregard the previous request for withdrawal.
That's very good of you.
Yes, well, I dislike seeing people being told what they can and can't do by others.
Yet, he seems perfectly willing to employ servants at his home. Well, I suppose we're all hypocrites in one way or another.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Dupre?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Dupre?
Why in the ether would you think that?
I'll get back to you on that. I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
Okie dokie. Wait. Oh, shit. Well, I guess we're still not done talking to him. And our suspect whatever.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Did your
letter
mother try to get you withdrawn from the university?
As a matter of fact, she did. Just another one of the many ways she tried interfering with my life.
What happened, exactly?
Mother wrote the university requesting that I be withdrawn. I found out about it when the enrollment office contacted me. I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was some sort of mistake, but then they showed me the letter.
I take it you were upset.
More than upset, Mr. Fordham. I was furious. I was trying to make a real life for myself. One that wasn't about dresses or debutante balls or fending off suitors. I'd been given the chance to make something of myself, and Mother was ready to bring it all crashing down, just because she didn't agree with it.
But in the end, you're still here.
Yes, Jean stepped in and fixed everything. He didn't have to do it, but it was very good of him. I'm afraid that was the beginning of the end of my relationship with Mother. We never really managed to fix things after that.
Okie dokie.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Fordham, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Wait, what am I saying? Of course you are. Madame Dupre has been interfering with Juliet's studies and disapproved of her relationship with Martin. Hence, they're falling out. Plus, the information in Juliet's notes about ethericity, putting animals into a death-like trance, seems awfully suspicious. It's enough to establish both means and motive. That's plenty to consider her a suspect.
I guess we finally listed her as a suspect. Hates her mother for disapproving her relationship and trying to have her removed from university. Researching its ability to make living creatures appear dead. Yeah. Return to Upton and accuse Juliet Montgomery. Oh boy. Oh boy, are we going to go ahead and accuse her right now? You know, if we're gonna accuse her, I might as well been live for almost 3 hours. I should probably take a bathroom break. I should probably take a bathroom break and. Yeah, I'm going to the bathroom. I think I want to see what happens next now. Be right back. All right, so I got myself something nice. And since, well, I don't know what's going to happen next, but we're going to accuse Juliet. And I thought, you know what, since I'm to help tire myself out, I'm gonna have my first drink of the night, a glass of Chardonnay. Pour it up in my whiskey glass. I just grabbed my other one and just cleaned it. I didn't feel like grabbing a new one. But anyways, I have a glass of Chardonnay. Cheers. Return to Upton and accuse Juliet Montgomery. So we weren't able to get any other suspects on the list, huh?
She's busy. That's not to bother her until we have something to ask her.
It's like Chad is just talking about stuff. Oh yeah, so well now I remember what I was gonna say. For all of you in chat who thought Juliet was it, it's like it's her, it's her. Um, Probably start doing some accusing. Wait, I could go back over here. Oh, I'm gonna piss this guy off.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Let's go ahead and piss him off before we
Can we talk,
do
Mr.
anything.
Dupre?
I suppose so. Yes.
Mr. Dupre, be honest with me. Are you afraid of your wife?
Here you go again with that ridiculous question. Why would you think I fear my wife?
Yeah, let's piss him off.
Your kitchen maid, Amelie, told me you were.
And you believed her? Really, Mr. Fordham, servants are good for one thing only, and that's
Ugh.
their jobs. Providing information does not fall under that umbrella.
Mr. Dupre, be honest with me. Are you afraid of your wife?
Here you go again with that ridiculous question. Why would you think I fear my wife?
Come on, Mr. Dupre, you're clearly afraid of your own shadow.
What?
Don't deny it, Sean. You're as yellow as a chum harlot's teeth.
Mr. Fordham, I agree to answer your questions, not to be insulted. I think it's best if you leave.
Well, so much for this line of inquiry.
Let's leave.
Jean probably wouldn't appreciate you snooping through his thing. You know, I've heard it said that needing to have so many guns is a sign of overcompensation.
Ooh, let's go to the jail.
Nothing else to ask him right now.
Aw. Gonna tell him, it's like, hey, that woman you like is the real killer. Oh, let's go back over here, too.
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
So we were never able to sneak into that room.
She's not going to be much.
I'm really curious. Yeah, this has to be a multiple ending game. Because it seems like there's other shit I could have done. But I wasn't able to do. I'm just going to play through this. Oh, she's gone. She hasn't returned home yet. So it feels like that there's definitely some things I could have been able to do. But we'll roll the punches. And whenever I get to the end of this game, I'm going to find out, was there other paths I could have taken? I feel like there's a different path I could have taken. Yet, the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game. That has to be the biggest indicator that there's a... it had to indicate a real choice right there. Alright. Alright, here's Upton.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Wrap up case.
That's it, I think.
Before we
Then
do
you'd
that,
better get back to it.
let's create another save before we do that.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I'm really curious if this is accurate or not, or if this is the way the story is supposed to go, or if I made a
I'm
mistake.
ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
I could say unsolvable case. Are you shitting me? I could say this case is unsolvable. Okay, I got to play around with this real quick.
I haven't got anyone. It's all been dead ends.
I'm sorry to hear that. It seems poor Mr. Martin will have to take the blame for this after all. Unfortunately, this also means
Oh.
compensation for your work.
I wouldn't feel right taking it anyway. I just wish I knew what happened.
It's all right, Fordham. Sometimes even the best detectives have a bad day. For now, go home and get some rest. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Yeah, this has to be
Addie,
multiple.
I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
Me? What are you on about?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
I want to talk about the case.
Talk about how we did on this case.
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
It was just a tough case.
My performance.
Anyone could have been stumped by it.
That's right. Anyone could have. But not the Miles Fordham I knew.
Don't worry, chat. We're going to go with what all of you in
If I
chat
stop
agreed.
taking
It was
you won't let me
Juliet.
sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
I was just going over the case, thinking out
I
loud.
was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Perhaps my luck at cards will be better than my luck at mystery solving tonight.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
Okay, we're gonna back up a save. Because everybody in chat was accusing her. Alright. Everybody in chat was accusing her, and... Well, not her, right here. His wife.
And it
Could
says
get
here
past
they
this.
still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
Boom Boom Boys.
Something more evocative, like the Boom Boom Boys.
Definitely gets to the point, I'll give you that. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting
Alright, let's skip all this.
Well, I think it's about...
I want to... There we go. Load. Oh, there we go. I was about to say, wait a minute, didn't I save? Alright. Let's load, and let's go ahead and do what chat everybody agreed on before she was even listed as a suspect. Wrap up
I think I'm ready
case.
to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
I have to be able to get more than one suspect, because that wasn't making any sense to me. But let's go ahead and get Julia out of the
It
way.
was Juliette Montgomery, Madame Dupre's estranged daughter.
Her daughter? But why?
Madame Dupre disapproved of Juliette's relationship with Mr. Martin, and also tried to have her withdrawn from university. Juliette grew to hate her, and wanted to be free of her overbearing and controlling influence.
So, how did she do it?
Aside from studying botany, Juliette is also interested in ethericity. She rents a room in the Chum where she conducts her experiments. Among her notes, she talks about the ability to use the power to put living things into a death-like trance.
Fiendish. Nice work, Fordham. I'll pass along the information and we can make an arrest. It'll be bittersweet news for Mr. Martin, I think. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work. For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Juliette Montgomery?
Yes, may I help
Oh
you with
boy.
something?
You're under arrest for the attempted murder of Madame Laura Dupre.
What? But how can that be?
Come with me, Miss Montgomery. We'll need to question you at the station.
Oh boy.
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment. I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know.
I didn't get an
Told you,
achievement for
I'm
that, so
doing
maybe
my
it
best
wasn't
to
her.
Try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
I didn't get an achievement for that option, so I wonder if it wasn't her. I'm kind of curious now. I'm kind of curious if I just had a innocent woman arrested. So there has to be other suspects. I don't know, but if you do nothing, that one guy gets executed. I'm confused. Well, I'm intrigued. I'm really got me wondering.
Look, I'm really not in the mood for this conversation right now.
Well, that's just too bad, because we're having it anyway.
And what might this conversation be about?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm gonna say.
I'm sick of games, Bill. I can't guess. Just tell me.
Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We discovered it was Juliette who was to blame.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
If I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
No, there isn't anyone else here. I was just talking to myself.
You're not going crazy on me, are you, Miles?
No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous, Addie.
Just checking.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
All right.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red.
The wine has already given me heartburn.
Anti-steam movement. It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
The League for...
Perhaps something like the League for the Preservation of Blowing Things Up?
A bit long, but it does get the point across. Perhaps you'd best stick with the detecting, dearest. Your nomenclature needs a bit of work.
Well, I think it's about time I get ready for bed.
All right, Miles, if you must.
Let her be for now. You've got your own things to take care of. You remember how much time Adel, at least these days? Ah, the Havisham case. Our first time out as partners. First in a long line of successful cases. It's nice to have a memory of the good old days. Bollingworth Ale. My favorite! And a nice souvenir from the Angel. You really ought to go back there someday. I'd love to see the look on Snelling's face if he ever found out you kept your old truncheon. That makes me wonder what old Mrs. Handbrook is up to these days. Who could that be at this time of night?
Good question.
This is
Adelaide
different.
can handle it for now. I need to take my medicine.
You certainly have your priorities in order. Go on then. Get that bottle of rat piss out of your nightstand and let's get this over with.
Addie can handle whoever's at the door. I need to take my medicine.
Okay, this is already different from the choices we made.
Ugh, tastes like the devil's sweat.
You could just stop taking it, you know.
Bill, now is not the time to...
Miles, could you come back out here, please?
Be right there, dearest. Who was that at the door?
A late-night courier. You've got a message from Upton.
Oh gosh, we just took the medicine. This case makes the last one look simple. Meet me at Raven ASAP. It's urgent.
Seems this case is rather urgent. She wants me to meet her as soon as possible.
But didn't you just take your soporific? Are you going to be all right to go?
It won't kick in for another hour or so. Should be plenty of time.
All right, I'm going to bed then. Good luck, dear.
Good night, Addie.
Oh boy. Oh, what am I doing? People staying up this late just to drink coffee?
Hello, Upton.
I'm glad you came, Fordham. Sorry for disturbing you this late.
Shouldn't a respectable young lady like you be in bed by now?
Only if you want to add boring to your list of adjectives.
So, what do you got for me?
An infant kidnapping in Lyon. The report came in tonight just before my shift ended. The family wants to keep the investigation very low-key. They're afraid if word gets out, they'll have all sorts of ne'er-do-wells making false ransom claims. That's why I suggested they let you investigate first. Head over to 45 Belcourt Street. That's the home of Malcolm and Miriam Harris, the parents of the kidnapped boy.
And my drugs are about to kick in.
Oh boy, I get to talk to rich people.
Not just rich, obscenely wealthy. The kind of people who never use the same handkerchief twice. Malcolm's father owns
I'm being
the
a
company that's
smartass.
building the new transatlantic airship.
Stealth
I
chaos.
suppose that would make the family an easy target for this sort of thing. Okay, I'm on it. I'll try and find him as soon as I possibly can.
Right. Good luck on your investigation. Come see me again once you figured things out, or if you just need to talk. I'll be here all day tomorrow as well, so feel free to stop by.
She just stays here and drinks. Alright. I think... Oh, I think... Yeah, we're definitely calling it the night. Thank you all for joining, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Oh, hope you have a wonderful evening. I am going to crash out. I wish I didn't have that wine. I feel like I'm getting a little heartburn. But I will be back tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm going to play tomorrow night. I kind of want to play more Lamplight City after, you know, we already solved the case, so this stream is already 3 hours. Maybe I'll play something else tomorrow night. But either way, sometime this week we're definitely returning to Lamplight City. But yeah, tomorrow after work I'll be back. Good night.